Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm Chris Bianchi, and now we're going to go out to Tampa, Florida. 9 News sports reporter Arielle Orsuto, who joins us from Amalie Arena in Tampa for Game 4 tonight between the Colorado-Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Avalanche with a 2-1 series lead, but that got halved back on Monday night when the Avalanche lost 6-2. It was a bit of a disappointing performance coming off the 7-0 win in Game 2 back on Saturday night at Ball Arena. But for a bit more on tonight's Game 4, we're now joined by Arielle. Thanks so much for taking time to join us. And Arielle, what's your kind of general overview about how things sit right now? What is the Avalanche locker room feeling like at this point?
Yeah, right now they're still in the driver's seat. They're up 2-1 in the series, so they still have that advantage, and they feel it. They, at least outwardly, they're saying they feel it. Right after the game, they were responding the way they've been responding. They were positive. They were saying they're resilient. And it's the way we've seen them react after each one of the losses, which, by the way, have only been 3 the entire postseason, which is pretty crazy to think about. But after the first 2 losses in the St. Louis series, they were both home losses, they responded the same way. They were saying that, we're a resilient group, we're going to bounce back, and they never lost back-to-back games after that at all. So that's the same way they came out after the game the other night, and we'll see if they can keep that up here tonight.
We'll see, obviously, and maybe one potential boost is that I know Nazem Kadri went out there for the morning skate. He's been out since the Edmonton series. I believe it was Game 3 of the Edmonton series. Arielle, what's the latest on Kadri? Will he be able to suit up tonight?
Yeah, well, we saw him out there for morning skate this morning. He was wearing the burgundy sweater, indicating that he's probably on the second power play unit. He's usually on the first power play unit. That's likely because he didn't exactly look like he had all of his power in his shooting. It's his right thumb. It's his shooting thumb. So that's what you're going to have to look at to see if he can actually go out there and put some power behind that wrist shot or anything like that on the stick, I should say. So it didn't really look like he was putting a lot of power behind anything. So they did say, Jared Bednar said that he will be available. He never releases lineup, so he didn't say he'd be in the lineup. He said he'd be available tonight. The players also said that they're looking forward to seeing him back in there tonight, so he should probably be in there. It's just a matter of how many minutes he's going to play. Is he going to be actually, used for his amount of minutes? Probably not. That's probably not what you're going to see out of there, Chris.
It's potentially a big boost there with Kadri. Then there's the other big question. Darcy Kuemper, the regular starter for the Avalanche, pulled in the middle of the second period after giving up 5 goals back in Game 3. Is there any clarity as to whether it'll be Kuemper or his backup, Pavel Francouz, in between the pipes tonight?
Yeah, once again, Jared Bednar not one to ever release his lineup, so he did not clarify that it's going to be Darcy Kuemper in net tonight. However, you can almost all but assume that it will be. They were using words like Darcy is our starter, that we believe in Darcy. And so Darcy probably all but 100% will be between the pipes tonight. He also was the goaltender in the starting goal for morning skate. That's usually an indication of who will be the starting goaltender. Pavel Francouz was in the other net. He's a reliable guy, though. I mean, he's not your usual backup goaltender. He's a very, very steady workhorse. He's exactly who you want to be your backup. He's got like ice through his veins. That's the kind of guy that you want backing up, but he's going to be the backup tonight, in my opinion.
So it's pretty clear. Plus, I mean, Arielle, is a bit more subjective here, but it'd be tough to go to Francouz and then go back to Kuemper again. I think this may be a bit of an intentional play, is it not, by head coach Jared Bednar?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. It's really tough on the mentality of everybody in the dressing room if you flip-flop back and forth. So you have to be steady. You have to go with your starting goaltender. And that all season has been Darcy Kuemper. And that's why you have to go with him again tonight. You have to say that we believe in him. And that's really gamesmanship as well, because if you go back to Pavel Francouz tonight, then you're also telling John Cooper on the other side of Tampa that you are not so sure in your own building, that you're not so sure of your own goaltending, and that really doesn't give a whole sense of the fact that you're sure of your own team. So I think it's some gamesmanship there as well. You have to go with your starter.
So you're gonna go. Sounds like it's gonna be the starter again. Kuemper in probably in net for tonight. Curious, having been in Tampa and having been at Ball Arena for games 1 and 2, how the atmospheres compare at Amalie Arena there in Tampa compared to what it was like here in Denver at Ball Arena for games 1 and 2. Was it louder or quieter in one arena or the other?
You know, it's comparable, I have to admit. I've been to a lot of different arenas, and this one is pretty loud. I do think there's actually probably, I haven't counted, and I actually didn't even see the official chart, but it seems like there's actually more seats here than there are in Ball Arena. But there is nothing compared to the atmosphere of Ball Arena, especially during the playoffs. Games 1, Games 2 this series were the loudest things I've ever heard in all of my years of covering this team. But the Game 3, it was pretty good, especially as this team was just piling on in that second period. So they're going to have to take the crowd out of it. To do that, you've got to start peppering Andrei Vasilevskiy early and often.
And perhaps a goal from Nathan MacKinnon, who surprisingly through 3 games has 2 assists but no goals yet. Is there a discussion on the Avalanche side of having to get him a bit more involved in the series?
Yeah, he's got some helpers, but no goals. But I mean, hey, you know, he's Nathan MacKinnon no matter what. He's still out there. He's still contributing. He still is almost always in the plus of the plus minus on every single game. So it's not like he's out there just laying an egg every night. I mean, he's still, they have to double him up on every single play. And when he gets doubled up, someone is left open. And typically, that's been somebody else on the power play. That's been Mikko Rantanen, who's been able to get 7 points, the most of any Avalanche player ever in a Stanley Cup Final. He has 7 points so far. All of them have been assists, though, for the Moose. So he can actually he can make history tonight if he can get 2 more points tonight. He could be the first player ever to score multiple points in 4 straight Stanley Cup games.
It's so funny. I kind of remember back to the Predators series, and I think the beginning of the Blues series, where all the discussion in it was, where's Rantanen? And then suddenly he's come on strong here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So those things tend to kind of oscillate a little bit. And Arielle, I might put you on the spot here a little bit. I know you're out there on a reporting basis, but I'm curious what you think happens here tonight in Game 4.
Oh man, I think I've already told you this, and if I haven't, you're going to hear it now. I do not do predictions ever. I don't do predictions. So, at least from a win-loss basis, I never do win-loss predictions. So, how about I give you more of like an atmosphere or a vibe, or like how I feel like this is going to go? Is that okay? Can we agree on that?
We'll take it, Arielle. No, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I think this one is going to be a significantly different game. I don't think you're going to see the 7-0 swing that you saw in Game 2, you know, with the Avalanche. But I think they are going to come out firing. I think they are going to get the first goal again here tonight. But I don't think it's going to be the last one they get. How about that?
Okay. Well, that sounds, as a self-admitted, I know we're supposed to be neutral here. I'm certainly not neutral. I'm a lifelong diehard Colorado Avalanche. So I'm gonna fan. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that off the bat here. So that sounds good to me, Arielle. I will take that and run with it. But Arielle, thanks so much for taking the time to join us here on 9 News Plus for a detailed look at tonight's Game 4 between the Avs and the Lightning. Thanks again for joining us here today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's always fun chatting with you, and this has been quite the experience. I mean, I would never trade this for anything, being able to cover this team from the beginning of the season all the way to the final game of the season. I mean, what an incredible experience.
Well, we'll see you back here. We know we'll see you back here in Denver with the Avalanche on Friday night as well. So we know that there's still another leg of the journey to go, and we'll find out tonight whether it may be another trip back to Tampa for you as well early next week. So again, Arielle Orsuto joining us from Amalie Arena in Tampa. Thanks again.